Hey everyone, and welcome to my diamond guide video for Hypercharge Unboxed. This is on Expert. This is Rental Lair, which is level 14, the final level. And right away, the first thing I want to point out is that I'm taking 3 buildables with me, as you do. I'm taking the level 2 barricades, the level 1 AA gun, and the level 2 rocket turret. Now, in the beginning, you're going to want to focus on the blue core. So try to find a battery and put it in the blue core. And then, obviously, we're going to collect some money and things to build this up. From my experience, the blue core is the one that gets attacked the most in the very beginning. And then come over here, set down the launch pad, jump up. Behind this bookshelf is actually a hidden jetpack. Now, this is really important because it allows you increased mobility and it allows you to easily get to high ground to minimize your chance of meeting your demise. And if you die, you're gonna lose this. You don't drop it like you do your gun. So throughout this playthrough, you're gonna see that I stick on high ground, and if I get damaged, I play very passively. Try not to die, because this thing is so helpful, and I cannot emphasize that enough. Now, I'm gonna speed up all of the setup waves throughout this because it's really slow going, and this is already a really long video. But even with it sped up, you should be able to tell what I'm doing. I'm basically just gonna collect money, build up my fortifications, a rocket turret on blue, some barricades, and that's the main thing I'm putting down for the first wave. You will eventually build up green and red, but I think red and blue are going to be where you want to put the most resources into. Red's going to get a lot of ground vehicles, tanks, jeeps, things like that, and because where the battery slots into is in front of the core, they're very frequently going to knock the battery out, and you're going to have to scramble to put it back in so that the shield will recharge. But for the most part, that's all I'm going to do in this first wave. I will periodically throughout this video give some commentary, but for the most part, the gameplay is going to speak for itself. But a few things that I want to point out, and I'll highlight these when we get to them, is that there are 2 things you absolutely want to grab if you see them, and I can't show you where they're going to be because the items have random spawns. But you definitely want the radar attachment because this helps you track the enemies when you're buzzing around trying to guard all 3 cores. And then additionally, at the very beginning of Wave 2, I find the missile launcher, which in my opinion is the very best weapon for this mission. It allows you to effortlessly take down the flyers, the gliders, the UFOs, the My Little Pony healers, all of those things without much effort. So as a result of that, I actually don't ever put down an AA gun. If you have trouble with the flyers, that's why you're taking the AA gun. It will help you with those. I don't need it here, but I did want to just point that out. And I can't emphasize enough that if you die and lose this jetpack, this is going to be significantly harder. So try to either not die at all, or if you are going to die, try to make sure it's not till like wave 5. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to start over because you're not going to have enough mobility to get up and down on the high ground and the low ground. You get into places where you're not going to get hit by tanks or some of the enemies that can really chunk you down very quickly. But use the laser until you get the missile launcher. Keep an eye on your cores. It always makes a noise if one of them is getting hit. Your AI teammates, if you're playing the single player like me, should do a great job in eliminating a lot of these smaller enemies, and that's about it. Here's where I grab the radar. It's in a pretty weird spot, but you can see how helpful this is because you have the green dots for your teammates and the red dots for the enemies. I mostly stay on the high ground for the boss here, who you are going to fight multiple times over the course of the level. He tends to not attack the cores, so you usually don't have to worry too much about that. But I typically would just look around, look for more batteries, look for any gold pickups or weapons and things like that, and let the AI handle him. And you have a battery charger, which is another thing I want to mention. It's right under the TV. So use this to the best of your ability. Try not to let your batteries fully deplete, because then you will lose them. And just bounce between the battery charger, charging them up at the start of each wave, and doing that. You're going to see right here I'm setting up, and here's where I find the missile launcher really early on. And this is going to be the one weapon I use for the entirety of it. But basically, I'm going to just put barricades on all of the different cores. I'm going to put a rocket turret on red, and a rocket turret is obviously already on blue. Green, I mostly just put barricades on. You can put an AA gun, which will help because a lot of flyers loop around it, or a rocket turret if you want to help it. And you're going to see I mostly stay above the table with the pizza on it and on the light, and in places where I'm up on high ground and going to take minimal damage. But hopefully this guide helps you. I'm going to let the gameplay speak for itself. It's pretty straightforward. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Come and get it, maggots! Power it up, pronto!
Soldiers, make them wish they never came out of their box. End them!
Power node is depleted. a battery. Hypercore damaged. Defend it, son.
Wow, great job, soldier.
None of you will be able to stop me. Seriously, you should stop before I hurt you. Maxie, why don't you ever learn? want to play? I see. You trained your squad well.
Battery depleted. Check that power node. We're boxing them in.
That was remarkable, soldier.
enemy is too close. Rebuild your defenses. Quick! Protect that hypercore! Power node needs a battery. Find one ASAP. Destroying your defenses. Do not forget to rebuild them. This wave is about to end soon.
Why don't you ever learn?
Gaze on thither.